Good, very early morning to you and to all the fine people who are, they're probably still asleep here in Gothenburg. So I thought I was going to try to convince you to try Kotlin. And if you don't know what Kotlin is, that's okay. It's a fairly new programming language provided by the good people at IntelliJ. And hopefully you know IntelliJ if you worked with Java or Scala or Groovy or, well, pretty much anything. Like, in my opinion, if you could be a true bred corporate Java person, and you might still be using Eclipse, but I highly recommend taking a look at IntelliJ. Their IDE is amazing. They have stuff for PHP and stuff. Like, they have a lot of different IDEs, so have a look at that. So anywho, they are developing this language called Kotlin, and in essence Kotlin it's a language that is interchangeable with Java, so that means that it runs on the JVM, and you all know how much I love the JVM. Well, it's probably because I've never had to debug a memory leak or optimized it or done anything except really use it right out of the box. I imagine that my opinion might change quite drastically if I had to do something like that. But for all intents and purposes, the JVM is a very nice thing to have if you need to do, make sure that stuff is running on any platform. Anywho, so what does Kotlin bring to the table? Well, apart from it being the closest thing to probably one of my favorite programming languages, which is Swift, it's like, I'm honestly saying that I started doing iOS development in Swift, and at first I was a little bit like, yeah, I'm not really loving this and so forth. And then I started to really love it after like a few months of working with it. And today I'm completely sold on this, being like, Swift is probably the best corporate language, in my opinion, that we have today. And Kotlin does virtually everything that Swift does in almost the same way. And it does it with the JVM as its foundation. How cool is that? So, the best part about this is that Google is now officially supporting Kotlin for Android. Now that's a political move. Trust me, that is a political move. They want to get away from Oracle and do their own thing. But that doesn't matter. Like, politics, let the politicians do politics, and we nerds, we do programming, okay? So the reason why I think you should stop using Java for your Android projects and whatnot is because Kotlin has everything that Java has. Everything you can do in Java, you can do in Kotlin, because once again, they're interchangeable. You can even use the old Java libraries that you know and love in your Kotlin code. But Kotlin also brings to the table a nicer syntax, more features. It has a more feature-rich language, and it allows you to do proper functional programming, pure functions, all that good stuff. And it also has a very nice little nudge in the right direction to do the proper, in my opinion, to avoid the problems that I personally think that object-oriented programming finally always ends in, which is the dependency hell, or the extension hell, or the inheritance hell, if you will. So all I can really say is that if you download Android Studio today, you will see that you actually have a little check box for supporting Kotlin. Now, it's to my great enjoyment that I can say that one of my personal favorite YouTubers, Brian Wong, has started making Android videos. Now, I'm gonna be honest, like, Brian, I love your videos. You are absolutely amazing. You've taught me so much about iOS development. And I really hope that you're going to put as much energy into your Android stuff that you did into iOS. I can tell from, well, I'm not going to say that I can tell, but I got the feeling that from the first 2 videos about setting up Kotlin in Android Studio and working with the layout, the graphical interface for layouts, I get the sensation that this is not your forte, that you are a little bit new to this as well. And that's okay, because I think that your experience as a programmer, because I can tell that you are very experienced when it comes to iOS development. Trust me, I've worked with a lot of different developers and you are experienced. I can hear from the way that you think about things. So hopefully you'll make some really cool videos, because I would really love to see that you do the same type of videos where you build the entire application. Those videos are amazing. Sorry about that. But yeah, go and check out Brian's stuff about Kotlin and like Android Studio. He does some really cool stuff. And that's basically it. I love Kotlin because it allows me to do everything that I love about Java and more. That's why I think it's going to be this great hit. And I really love the idea that you have some of the best IDE developers. Like IntelliJ have been Java all the way for a very long time, and like they really know their stuff. So this is a really good group to push this language into the future. And as a little side note, which I think this is in the future, but I have looked at what they're planning. Their end goal would be to make Kotlin compile down to native code, otherwise like machine code. And if that was possible, then Kotlin could be a serious contender to be the only language that you needed to do like most of the things you would ever want to do in the programming world. Now Go, in my opinion, is doing something very similar to that, but Go is not Android supported, and I really love the idea that a language is really diverse and I can use it for more than just that one thing.